What is good, YouTube man? Today I'm back with you guys with the nation for another video. And today, I got ourselves a good one. And what other way than to bring you guys my first official Raiders mock draft. It's a 7-round mock draft, and we are just now waiting until next week when the Raiders make some selections and bring these new draft prospects onto the Raiders roster. And I decided, you know what? Let me give the nation my thoughts and my opinions on the first official Raiders mock draft, on what I would do if I was the Las Vegas Raiders GM. And as always, you guys can let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Was it good? Was it bad? Was it trash? Let me know. Let me know in the comment section down below. But without further ado, Raider Nation, let's get right into it. Now, for our first pick, as we all know, as of today, we have made no trades to get into the first or second round after trading away our first and second round picks for Davante Adams. So where we stand is where I will draft. And at pick 86, me, Raiders Football Talk, also known as Andy, I have the Raiders drafting safety out of Oregon, Verone McKinley. Now, as you guys all know, one of my favorite prospects from the beginning. I've had three names that I have fell in love with in this draft prospects, and Verone McKinley is one of them. Chad Muma and Brian Asamoah are the other two guys. Now, I could have went Brian Asamoah here. I did not want to do that. We got ourselves a pass coverage linebacker with Jayon Brown, so I said, you know what? We can hold off with linebacker in the third round. Let's go out and get the Raiders safety duo of the future, pair him up with Trayvon Merrick, and you got two young, rangy, athletic, ball-hawking safeties. You guys may be saying, well, hey, ball-hawking safety, we like that. And let me tell you why. In 2021, Verone McKinley racked up 6 interceptions, 44 solo tackles, 77 total tackles, a forced fumble. This man right here. And guess what? Getting him in the third round, some will say maybe a little bit too high. They have other guys like Kirby Joseph and Nick Cross above him. In my opinion, I have Verone McKinley as a perfect round 3 grade. And I said, you know what? Let's go out and get the Raiders a safety tandem, pair him up with Trayvon Merrick, and then you have a young safety tandem there in the back end for many years to come. Like I said, man, this is a guy who can get the ball. He's slightly undersized. He's just under 6 foot at 5'11", but weighing in at 195 pounds is not too bad. Now, he's a guy that in this scheme with Patrick Graham, we know that we need basically 2 coverage safeties. He can do that. Now, he also has some versatility to come into the box, but with Trayvon Merrick being such a highly touted safety last year, I do believe that the Raiders are gonna use him more when it comes down to putting him in the slot when we're in our dime packages, getting an extra guy on a tight end or a slot receiver, letting Trayvon Merrick really be near that ball at all times, and letting Verone McKinley do the dirty work in the back end. And I feel like that would be very, very nasty. Now, talking about nasty, let's find our way into the trenches where it all starts and where it all ends. And that's what I have the Raiders doing. In round 4, I have the Las Vegas Raiders at round 4, pick 126. I have the Las Vegas Raiders selecting Cade Mays, offensive guard out of Tennessee. Now, this is another player that you guys have heard me basically pound the table for since this draft process has begun. For those of you guys that do not know, Cade Mays offers lots of versatility. He did play with Tennessee this year, but he went through the transfer portal last year after playing with Georgia. Now, in Georgia, for those of you guys who do not know, they run a zone gap running scheme when it comes to their running game. So he has experience in the zone gap running scheme, and going over to Tennessee, they run the power gap running scheme, and it did not look like he had much of a drop off at all. To me, that is a guy that offers very, very good versatility, and a person I think that Carmen Bricillo and Josh McDaniels would value very, very highly. You know, one thing when we heard Josh McDaniels speak, when he was talking about Brandon Parker and Jermaine Illuminor, he was talking about their versatility, right? Brandon Parker's versatility to swing at tackle, swing at both tackles position, left or right. And then he was talking about Jermaine Illuminor being able to bump in at guard or bump out at tackle. Well, guess what? Caden Mays is versatile, but in a different way. He can play both guards positions, but he can be versatile in scheme to scheme. And as we all know, Josh McDaniels is also a guy that on the offensive side of the ball, he likes to attack his opponents week to week. So having a guy like Caden Mays being able to have success in a zone gap running scheme and a power gap running scheme is very impressive. So that is why I have the Las Vegas Raiders selecting him in the 4th round out of Tennessee at pick 126. Now, I did not go for a linebacker in the first 2 rounds, but your wait is over. I have the Las Vegas Raiders selecting Appalachian State's linebacker DeMarco Jackson at pick 165 in the 5th round. And this is where it gets real interesting, right? Because the Raiders have back-to-back picks. So I feel like this is a place where you really, really want to kill it. And DeMarco Jackson standing at 6'1", you know, you can argue it, weighing in at 233 pounds. He is a senior at Appalachian State, but he is a guy with upside, and that's what I want for this team to do, right? With this new coaching staff, I have a lot of hope that I feel like this coaching staff can maximize the growth of all these young guys. So I'm going for guys with high ceilings. Now, DeMarco Jackson is a guy, he offers pass coverage. He can go man, he can go zone, and a lot of that comes because of his 40 time, right? Being fluid, running a 4.45 in the combine. DeMarco Jackson is a damn good linebacker, and I love DeMarco Jackson out of Appalachian State. 119 tackles in 2021, 6 sacks, forced fumble, an INT, and a touchdown this last season. So he's a guy that can get after it. He's a guy that can develop under Divine Diablo, under Denzel Perryman and Jayon Brown. As we know, we only have Jayon Brown for 1 year, and we only have Denzel Perryman for 1 more year. So I'd like the Raiders to go out and go maybe look at DeMarco Jackson for his services in the 5th round. But like I said, you guys, we're back in the trenches. We got back-to-back picks in the 5th round, and this is where it gets interesting. We went on the offensive side of the trenches. Now we're coming back, and we're getting nasty on the defensive side in the trenches. And I have the Raiders selecting defensive tackle out of UCLA, Otito Ogbonnia. This guy right here, he was a highly touted prospect last year, went back to school, and he said, you know what? I'm going to continue to make plays. Being 6'4", 320 pounds, I really, really would love this pickup. Now, he offers some good run support, and he kind of started to develop as a pass rusher this last season. Going back to UCLA, he was already making plays in the run, but he went and he said, you know what, let's work on our pass rush, and it started to come along. Nothing too crazy that'll put him as like a 1st or a 2nd or a 3rd round pick, but in the 5th round, you got a guy that's a senior, 320 pounds, 6'4". I would love for the Raiders to go out and get some depth, especially since you really don't have much depth at the position right now. I know we brought in Darius Philon, and that'd be absolutely amazing if we're able to bring Darius Philon back. Some would say maybe bring back Gerald McCoy, but Otito Ogbonnia in the 5th round last season with 27 tackles, 2 sacks, a forced fumble recovery. This is a nice pickup here. Now, what are you guys thinking so far? Let me know in the comment section down below. But we have one more pick, and this is where I want to go with speed. I want to go out and get a guy that he has the one thing that's unteachable, and that is speed. Now, I have the Las Vegas Raiders at pick 227 selecting Rutgers wide receiver Bo Melton. After running a 4.3 40-yard dash at the combine, I think many teams would like his services. And I think that he'll be there in the 7th round, right? Because he doesn't really possess too many elite traits when it comes to being the wide receiver. But the one elite trait that he does possess is speed, and we can all use some speed in our lives. We can all use some speed in our on our rosters. And I believe that out of all the guys, you can have Velus Jones Jr., some would take Tyquan Thornton. Maybe Tyquan Thornton in the 5th round is a little bit too much, saying that we don't have too many picks. But you go 7th round and you go get a Bo Melton in the draft to cap it off. I would love it. Bo Melton this last season, he said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and catch 55 passes for 618 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now, although he is a speedster, his average yards per catch was pretty low, only at 11.2 yards per catch on average, but overall, good player. He has that take the top off speed. What would you guys think, man? If the Raiders said we're gonna go draft Verone McKinley, Cade Mays, DeMarco Jackson, Otito Ogbonnia, and cap it off with Bo Melton out of Rutgers, would you guys like that draft? In my opinion, that would be a phenomenal draft, right? Of course, I would love for other guys to, slide into the 3rd round like a DeMarvin Leal at 86, and I would be pounding the table for him. But I feel like this is a pretty realistic draft, and I want the Raider Nation, go in the comment section down below, grade this draft, and say, you know what, Andy, it sucks. You need to fix this, or let me know, was it a good? Give me an A through F grade, or just let me know, you know what, I think there was better value somewhere else. But like I said, Red Nation, comment in the comment section down below your thoughts and opinions on my official Raiders mock draft. The draft is next week, Nation, so I'm extremely, extremely excited. And before I go, as usual, hit that subscribe button. We are 80 subscribers away from that 5,000 subscriber mark. I cannot thank you guys enough. Shout out to you guys, Raider Nation. As always, love y'all. Stay safe. Have a blessed day. Now I'm out, y'all. Peace.